In a second, I'm going to play an audio clip from this podcast, Canada Land, in which Matt Gallagher, it's a clip, it's going to be an unedited clip by me. This is what aired. It's a minute and I think 20 seconds or so of unedited from this podcast. The conversation with this filmmaker, Matt Gallagher, in total is about 54 minutes in length. This entire conversation with him. And just in this 1 minute that I'm going to play for you, there are 2 lies. I'm going to let the clip play, and then I will tell you what those lies are. There are more lies, blatant, malicious, pitiful lies throughout the podcast interview. And I'm going to address those in a courtroom against Gallagher, TVO, and other parties. But I'm pointing this out only to tell you the truth, because the truth matters to me. The truth doesn't matter to this quote-unquote documentary filmmaker.
I just wanted a play-by-play of how he felt when he filmed that. And he explained it. He said, I was doing this for educational purposes. We were doing this to help him, to show him that he shouldn't be making these kinds of choices in his life. And then I revealed to Jason that the man had actually died. Jason didn't know that. Our researcher had found a death certificate from Ottawa, Ontario, where the man took his life on a park bench by a drug overdose. And I asked Jason, I said, how does it feel knowing that another man has died? And he just sort of paused, and I could see him going into his head looking for an answer. But all he could muster is,
do I feel bad that he's dead? Sure. I mean, I guess. Sucks to be dead.
and there was just this quiet in the room, and I just sort of said, okay, guys, let's pack up. That's good. And that was it. And that was the last time I spoke to him.
So just in this 1 minute and 20 second clip from this podcast, there are 2 blatant lies. First of all, I already knew that this John Doe, Ryan Jessup of Windsor, Ontario, who had been caught on Creeper Hunter, I already had known from somebody else that he had supposedly died. And I didn't know the circumstances, but I knew that it was sometime after he got out of jail. People were telling me all the time. The second lie is that this interview, the last interview that I did with him, where this statement was made about sucks to be dead, that occurred in July of 2023. And here Matt is saying in 2025 in the podcast that was the last time he spoke to me. And that also was a lie. The man cannot stop lying. This is a text message exchange between Matt Gallagher and myself after that last interview. Him following up with me, talking to me. In this time from, I think, a little bit before the last interview that I did with him, up until the time when the interview finished, the last interview finished here in July, there had been a Windsor Star article that came out and basically was framing this film, this documentary film, which he was telling to me he didn't know what this was. But in the interview that he sought out with the Windsor Star, he either put out press releases or he made a phone call to the Windsor Star, to CBC, and he got press basically begging for the general public to come forward and try and bash me. And in this article, he basically says that this is about the framing of his film is about collateral damage. Basically, the suicides. Now, he was trying his best to try and, during the interviews that I had with him, he was trying his best to have these gotcha moments. So if you ever consider doing an interview with Matt Gallagher in the future, make sure that you don't go into it signing any documentation or thinking that you trust this person to be honest. But from the get-go, he was lying to me. Do not trust this person. He is a liar, and I'm going to sue him for fucking defamation. I don't know why he would ever lie like this, because he knows the truth that he spoke to me several times after this. He sent me text messages berating me for interviews, additional interviews. He also approached me in the hallways of courtrooms twice after that point, asking me to do interviews. And I told him repeatedly to stop contacting me. And eventually, I said to him, put your questions that you want in writing. And eventually, he did. Here he is sending me a bunch of questions. None of them address these wretched lies that are also throughout the film that were never put to me. Stuff like this Jocelyn we met, or Brad Droulard's brother, Predator Brad Droulard's brother, Chris Droulard. Chris Droulard appears in the film named Brett. And his brother Brad, after an hour of knowing a 15-year-old online, wanted to go and meet up with her. This Brett, who claims his brother was diagnosed as autistic, told a Windsor police officer, Scott Roberts, in 2020 that his brother was never diagnosed as this. He circled around a whole story for 2 hours complaining about me. He sent Windsor police 2,000 pages of documents. And the Windsor police officer laughed him out of the room. All he was trying to do was get me charged for something. Chris Droulard, this Brad Droulard's brother, knew that his brother was a predator. And he's telling people that he went to go for ice cream. There's nowhere in the text exchange that I sent to Windsor police about his fucking brother. There's nowhere in that text exchange that there's the discussion of ice cream. So where does he get this fucking ice cream from? He wanted to eat the ice cream. That is definitely implied because his brother met a 15-year-old online and within an hour he was begging to meet up with her. I warned these people that legal action would be coming, that this film contains false, malicious, and defamatory information about me. And that is unacceptable. They wanted this. It is Gallagher that has put them all in a position of liability. So again, if you're somebody considering doing an interview with Matt Gallagher of Border City Productions or whatever it's called, walk away. He's gonna manipulate you. Stay tuned for more.